yield a very, very smooth boat running. But, they still have not broken loose. The Miami Rowing Club crew is dogged. I'll tell you what, they've got some feist in them.
Yeah, they were into the last 500 meters, approaching 250 meters to go. It continues to be Vero Beach with their long, controlled strokes edging out in front, and now it looks like Vero is going to get ready to charge to the line. Vero's now moved out to about a 1-length lead over Miami. That long, efficient stroke is just propelling them inch by inch away from the Miami, but Miami is not going away. Miami bringing it up again, going to try and chase down Vero for that first spot.
Well, the coxswain from Vero better look over, or the bowman from Vero has got to tell the coxie what's happening if, in fact, they're starting to overtake them. That's one of the things that's most difficult when you have a bowcox boat, is to be able to get an idea if somebody's overtaking you. The crew from Miami that is behind can see what's going on.
Well, here comes Edgewater. It looks like Edgewater has decided to put on the gas and the afterburners in the last 500 meters. Cape Coral is trying to hold them off. At the lead of the pack, it is Vero Beach. They're holding a just 1-length lead. The Miami still has overlap, but it will be Vero Beach coming across the line first, with Miami qualifying in a second position, and Cape Coral is holding off a furious charge from Edgewater. The coxswain is pounding on the boat for Edgewater, trying to propel them to just get another half a length, but it's Cape Coral continuing. Oh, it's going to come down to the very final bow ball. This is going to be a photo finish. That's too close to call here. Edgewater did a phenomenal job of charging, but we'll have to wait for the official results from crewtimer.com to figure out who makes it into the A final and who has to contend for the B final.
Yeah, great sprint there from Edgewater. Another Edgewater 4 with a fantastic sprint to come back and potentially nip away a qualifying spot for Cape Coral. All to play for, though, as we await the official results on crewtimer.com. And you can find all of that, and it does look like, yes, it was the University School.
No, so we're going to wait for it till the final results, because that's going to come down to a photo finish. So it was confirmed Vero Beach does come across the line first, about 2 seconds ahead of Miami, and it does look like Edgewater qualifies for the A final by 1600ths of a second, 1.16, with a furious charge there in the last 250 meters to move back up and just overtake Cape Coral in the final stroke to get their bow ball out in front, as we talked about. There are many ways to do it, but the only thing that matters is crossing the line ahead of your competitor. And on today's results, Edgewater got the better of that Cape Coral crew.
And here's a replay of the start of the next race. It is the third and final heat of the boys freshman 4. As we're up to live pictures now in lane 2, we have Rocks, lane 3, Tampa Prep, lane 4, Berkeley Prep, lane 5. Your early leaders, it appears to be GAR A, and lane 6, Melbourne Rowing Club, and lane 7, St. Thomas Aquinas High School. And it did look like GAR were the early leaders being challenged, but either Tampa Prep or Berkeley Prep didn't quite catch the boat, and it does look like, I think that's actually Rocks out in.
Yeah, it looks like Rocks and Gainesville have the lead with Melbourne Rowing Club in third, and then over to Tampa Prep and Berkeley Prep just right on top of each other. And this is 3 to go, is that correct? Yep, three are going to proceed. So it looks like Rocks and Gainesville is starting to walk on rocks. They're starting to move away quite well. And then it looks like Melbourne Rowing Club may be starting to move into rocks. So it's early. It's about 750 meters in, halfway, and we're starting to see a lot of wind. And that wind is going to make it hard for these crews to steer, because it is coming from the top of the picture, blowing from the top towards the bottom of the picture, which will push those crews over towards us. And those coxswains that can really be very, very gentle with the rudder and just tap it very well are going to be better. So we can see our Gainesville crew really handling it very nicely.
Gainesville's fours all day long have been doing a great job. Again, Rocks had a really furious fast start, but Gainesville just went into paper mode and covered Rock. And at this point now, Gainesville Area Rowing has about a 1-length lead with Rocks in a solid second position. We're coming up on 500 meters to go. We're into the last 500 in a few strokes here, and it is another impressive performance by the GAR Coxed 4 events.
Yeah, they definitely have the scissors on the crews out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this all but most of the GAR 4s, if not all of them, actually won their respective heats. So again, the testament to Garrett Bauer's program in the 4s just goes to show how experienced Coach Zapp and these crews really are. Great stuff to see out of Gainesville.
Yeah, just a little bit over. There's about 12 meters separation from the stern of the Gainesville crew back to the Rocks crew in second place.
Yeah, we're going to have to keep our eye on third place, that all-important qualifying position. At the moment, I'm going to probably have to give that to Melbourne. Melbourne Rowing Club looks to be holding a third place position, but again, it's going to come down to the last 250 meters. It looks like we're getting a charge coming up from Berkeley and Tampa Prep as well.
Yeah, it looks like Berkeley's having a little bit of a steering issue. You have to worry about them having to use their rudder. That will slow them down. In the meantime, Tampa Prep on their ports, on their starboard side is really holding on, but they just are getting their oars stuck in the water. So it's really getting a lot of pressure here with these freshmen. They're tired, their muscles are screaming. They have to really focus on what's going on. And the crew that's really dialed in is Orlando, or correction, is GAR.
And GAR takes the win. In the third heat of the boys, freshman 4, Rocks takes second place. Melbourne Rowing Club doing well to take third and the final qualifying spot in the boys freshman 4A final. Tampa Prep will be the first boat to the B final. Berkeley Prep will be next across the line, also to the B final, encountering some steering issues in the final 250 meters. And St. Thomas Aquinas will round out for a fledgling young men's program there at that school. But it's great to see them competing in going to the B final. Great stuff from GAR as you see the pictures of the heat winners in the boys freshman 4. It will be one of your favorites, along with North Palm Beach and Vero Beach from the previous 2 heats.
Okay, we now have in our schedule a break. Supposedly our next race is scheduled to go off in 7 minutes. So we may not get a break, but scheduled to go off is the girls freshman 4 with Coxon, and that will go off in 7 minutes, which is in 2:04. So expect to see that, and then having that break right there allows us to catch up on our schedule.
And here are the results there from the third heat of the boys freshman 4. Officially, Gainesville Rocks and Melbourne Rowing Club will be your 3 boats to qualify for the A final and a shot at medals in the state championship. Another GAR 4 showing their dominance and superb coaching out of that program to do so well in so many different 4 categories of 4s at this weekend's racing.
Yeah, does Gainesville put a men's 8 out on the water, or are they just basically 4s like was it Choate School or up in the Northeast?
Yeah, they try to do their best to put out an 8 whenever they can, but the 4 is such a technical boat. In the 8 you can have people kind of high technically, but in the 4 it's a lot more exposed, with having less people able to stabilize the boat and having more effect as an individual on what the boat is able to do. So GAR has done a really good job, I think, with the size of the team that they have and with the people that they have available to them for certain categories. They've done a really good job to prioritize the 4s this year.
Roger that.
As we have a break in the program, we will head to some commercials.
This is more than a boat. This is a legacy built stroke by stroke. Born in the USA, King Racing Shells earned its crown on the race courses of America. And now, we're bringing it back. Built here, raced here, dominant here. This isn't hype. It's history in motion. The return of King isn't coming. It's already here. At Youth Nationals, a king will wear the crown.
Embrace the laid-back charm of island life while sinking your toes in the sand and discovering real, authentic Florida in the Bradenton area. Unspoiled beauty and pristine beaches, a vibrant waterfront downtown energized by local arts and culture, fresh Floridian cuisine with a flourish of rich history, and friendly locals ready to welcome you to this preserved paradise on Florida's Gulf Coast. Plan your visit today at BradentonGulfIslands.com.
This is more than a boat. This is a legacy built stroke by stroke. Born in the USA, King Racing Shells earned its crown on the race courses of America. And now, we're bringing it back. Built here, raced here, dominant here. This isn't hype. This is history in motion. The return of King isn't coming. It's already here. At Youth Nationals, a king will wear the crown.
Looking for RHS TV? No worries. It's free and it's easy. Using your Roku or Amazon Fire TV remote, go to the search bar and type RHS TV. When the app pops up, hit the download or add channel button. For mobile streaming, head to the App Store or Google Play and search RHS TV. You can also stream RHS TV through your Apple TV, Samsung TV, or LG TV. Just head to your TV's App Store and search up RHS TV. Happy streaming!
It's your girl Victoria Sky, and welcome to Balloon Pod Tampa, where the choices are real and the balloons don't lie. We're doing it blind date style. Woo! And by the end of the show, we'll be able to find out who's vibing and who's not. And if they don't, well, it's a...
There's gonna be some love. It might not be no love, but we're gonna find out.
Welcome to another edition of In the Bed with Babs. Do I have to be PG-13 or can I be rated R? We just gonna leave it up to the viewers to decide. I got my girl Meredith coming by to give all of the hot topics.
Does one boob pop out a little bit more than the other sometimes in your bra? When you wear bra.
Ay, 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 what's up?
Some of it's very entertaining.
What's wrong with giving the people what they want?
I'm in the bed with Babs.
Watch In the Bed with Babs on RHS TV.
We've got our next race, which are 4 out of the 5 boats are already on the starting platform. Remaining boat is Plant High of the girls freshman 4 heat number 1 getting ready to go, and you can see on the screen here who they are. Our top-rated crew appears to be the Miami Beach crew, which will be the center one. We'll see whether or not that follows the form. There's always some people that never get the message, but we'll let the racing determine that. So, girls freshman 4 with coxswain. That's going to be it's going to be a heavy boat. It's going to be a hard. It's going to be really. It's going to be really hard.
Well, luckily we've got a following wind. It might be a quartering tailwind, but for the most part, again, the apparent wind and trying to set the boat might be a challenge, but with the whisper of the tailwind here, it will at least make the race a little bit shorter so you can go after it. You know, you're not slogging through a massive headwind that's creating drag and just slowing the boat down between each stroke. This allows the boats to run out just a little bit more stroke to stroke, and hopefully shortens the race overall time for them, although they're still going to have to apply maximum pressure to try to get out in front of the other teams.
All right, so looks like we have one crew with a starboard stroke, and that would be Lake Brantley right there, second from the right-hand side. And we can see their two-person reaching with their oar, trying to get it straight. It looks like we're getting ready to go. Everybody's ready. Oh, they're still tapping it around. Oh, they've been called to it. Now the judge referees sitting up in their big tower, and they're watching. They don't want to start it when somebody's tapping, and they see that they've all come forward now and getting ready to go. Okay, we had an interesting start there.
Yeah, and the main thing for this is fairness, and as long as the referees deem that it is a fair and competitive start, that nobody gained an unfair advantage, a lot of times they'll let them race to make sure we can get these races off fairly and quickly and get these races to the finish line in an orderly fashion.
Yeah, unfortunately, Plant High School had some steering issues. It was pushed off to the lane to the right of them, but is now maneuvered back in. But having to use that rudder and steer like that really slows down, because every time you use a rudder, it creates drag. And they are trying to not get hit by the buoys as they go. But our leader right now is Miami Beach with Lake Brantley right beside him. Those two crews that you see in the upper right-hand side of our picture.
There's going to be a battle between the Bowles School and the University School for that final third-place qualifying spot. Only 3 crews advancing to the A final. Looks like the Bowles School currently has the advantage, but the University School will be doing their best to hold connection and maintain their composure coming into the second 500 meters of this race.
Yeah, so right now we have Miami is pushing out to about a 1-deck lead, only about 6 or 7 feet, but they are your current leaders. It is Miami Beach just ahead of Lake Brantley, followed closely by the Bowles School. Bowles still has about a half a length of overlap with the second place spot there with Lake Brantley. So we've got our top 3 crews starting to spread out just a bit. The University School trying to hang on to the Bowles School, but it now is Miami Beach extending out to a 1/2 length lead as we approach the 500-meter mark.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough road to hoe for the University School, because Bowles over there in lane 6 has over a length of open water back to the University School, and we'll be able to see this right now as we go along. And there's the Bowles School in that orange crew, and there is University, and they have 500 in, and you can see that it's well over a length. So it appears that right now, pretty much these lead crews are working off each other, and the fact that they're right in there is helping out. And then we can see that the University School up there at the top may in fact be making a move.
Yeah, Miami Beach is starting to extend their lead. They've got a half a length of open now. They're trying to pull away even more from Brantley and the Bowles School. It looks like Bowles School now is actually starting to make a charge into Lake Brantley. So Bowles School having a nice controlled rhythm there, just eating into it stroke by stroke, not trying to do anything extravagant, just keeping it within themselves, taking stroke by stroke. foot by foot, and now they're within 2 feet of Lake Brantley for second position.
You see the yellow and black sign at the top of your screen by the bike path. That signals 750 meters. That is your halfway mark at this 1,500 meter distance. Now Miami Beach with over a length of open water, and it is so tight now. The Bowl School has kept themselves under composure. Their rhythm has drawn them level to the early fast starters, Lake Brantley, and now they are decisively ahead with the surge of the bow ball. You can see on your screen now, those bow balls are ahead of the crew from Lake Brantley. It is now the Bowl School in second place.
What you can see with the Bowl School, if you watch them carefully, you can almost feel how they're hanging on the oar, and they feel the pressure of that oar pulling on their fingers, and they maintain that pressure all the way from the stime when they start by pushing down with their legs until they hold it all the way into their body. And maintaining that pressure all the way through there really is helping them to propel that boat as it leaves, as the oar leaves the water. They're feeling the boat accelerate every single stroke, and they're really maintaining that pressure on the face of the oar is really paying big dividends for them.
Joe, you mentioned that it might feel heavy in this girls freshman 4, but right now that Bowl School crew is embracing it. They're saying, yeah, give us as much horsepower as we can, give us the load so that we can lean on it and keep extending our lead in second position just ahead of Lake Brantley.
Yeah, they're doing an excellent job, and they have broken Brantley. They have open water back to Brantley, and it appears that they just do not want to be denied. They are hooking onto it and holding it and prying that boat. In the meantime, Miami Beach continues to really open up on the rest of this.
Yeah, this is a dominant showing from Miami Beach Rowing Club, trying to earn themselves another state championship as they come down towards the final 250 meters.
Now, NSU is really doing their very best to enter their fray. They're probably a little bit too far back, but they have had a very, very strong race over there in lane 2. But they're back. They may have overlap on Brantley, but I'm not sure. But in the meantime, Bowles keeps on hooking and holding. Bowles is doing a really excellent job of moving that boat cleanly, and you can see it after the oars leave the water, how that boat just jets forward. They're doing a great job, but the smooth and long crew from Miami Beach has a really demonstrative victory in this heat.
Yeah, so it will be Miami Beach crossing line first with open water. Coming in second, also with an open water lead over the third place crew, will be the Bowl School. And right now, Lake Brantley is holding off a late charge from the University School. University School doing a great job of getting back onto terms. They've closed it to within a half a length, but it will be Lake Brantley who puts in the effort to cross the line in the third and final qualifying position, just ahead of the University School, who will be joined by Plant High School in the B final.
Okay, we've had a start in our next heat of the girls freshman 4. And we will be giving you some information about that shortly.
Yeah, we have confirmation of that previous result and the start of the second heat of the girls freshman 4. It looks like over on the far shore should be Rocks. Next to them in lane 3, Ransom Everglades. Lane 4, Tampa Prep. Lane 5, Boone High School. Lane 6, Edgewater. And lane 7 will be Miami Beach's B entry. We saw Miami Beach's A entry win that previous heat by a dominant fashion, open water. So we'll see how a B crew can fend off some of these other A crews.
Oh, somebody caught an overhead crab, and that was Ransom Everglades. You can see the three-person in that boat got the oar stuck in the water, and it just turned the boat sideways.
Right now,
it's unfortunate, but the other crews have passed along. But fortunately, they were not in the way of anybody, so that was okay. The racing continues with looks like
Boone High School is currently out in front. They have about a 1-seat lead over Rocks. If that, it looks like Rocks is now charging. So it's Boone and Rocks in the first and second position. Too close to call between those two crews. And just coming in behind them, it looks like Miami Beach is going to be fighting for a couple of the spots. But we're going to have to get a closer look to see between Rocks and Boone on who is leading the charge here, coming up on the halfway mark.
Yeah.
If this result stands, that would be a great showing from the Miami Beach B entry. Again, that is a B entry. You just saw there the A entry take a dominant win in the first heat, so to have two crews possibly in the A final would be a tremendous feat. But yeah, it is Rocks and Boone neck and neck out in front. It's going to come down to these middle moves here to see if anybody can create a difference.
Yeah, Rocks is really going after it very, very aggressively.
I do still give the advantage to Boone. This is a great drone video shot. The angle of shooting it from just behind is going to be hard to tell exactly who has their bow ball in front. We can often tell by the buoy lines, but at the moment I will give the advantage to Boone High School. Currently has about a half a length lead by my eye over a Rocks crew that just will not go away. They're fighting, they're staying in it, and they're going to try and eat back into their lead.
Yeah, they are halfway down the course. They're 750 meters down. 750 to go, and this is quite a battle between these two crews.
And coming into the final 500 meters of this race.
Yeah, it looks like Boone has got about a deck and continues to press away. Boone is really doing a very, very good job of placing their blades in the water and not pulling before the blade is in the water, and that allows them to have a longer impulse and be a lot more efficient.
And as they come down to the final 200 and 400 meters or so, it's going to be Boone High School. They're going to be able to hear the drum on the shoreline, their signature Boone Braves drum that beats along to the rhythm of the boat as they come past their spectator shore. So it's going to be, and I've heard from our president, Blake Pallings, who's a Boone rower himself, that Boone drum really kicks you into high gear. There's something psychological for those Boone athletes. As soon as they hear the drum, split drops like 10-20%, and it is really, really powerful. So that Boone drum is hopefully going to carry these athletes to a win in this heat, as they have to hold off this charge from Rocks on the screen.
Looks like Rocks is marching to the beat of a different drum, because right now they're making up ground and they are starting to charge. They're within a deck of Boone right now, and Rocks is currently the fastest moving crew. Boone still does have the lead. We're into almost the last 250 meters.
Oh, you can see that Rocks is moving up on every single stroke, man.
Yeah, and Boone is just fighting to try and stay ahead. They're looking out of the boat. They're seeing if Rocks has caught them yet. They still haven't. Rocks is charging, and it is bow ball to bow ball right now between Boone and Rocks.
We've got ourselves a barn burner. This is official barn burner, first one of the day.
Yeah, I still think Boone has the advantage. They seem to have been able to compose themselves, pick it back up, and now they're moving into their final sprint sequence. It continues to be Boone in the lead, but Rocks has overlap and looking to charge for the final sprint.
It's Boone and Rocks. It's Boone and Rocks as they come in the last 15 strokes. I can see a lot of neon green down there at the finish line. Cheer them on.
It
looks like Boone has found a groove. They're really sprinting. Rocks is really going after it too. Boone has about 2 feet on him. Here we go, right down the finish line. It's Boone and Rocks. And it looks like Boone is going to hang on. That's some great racing here at Nathan Benderson Park.
Great job by Boone High School to hold on to the win here in the second heat of the girls freshman 4. They will be advancing as one of the favorites to the A final along with Rocks. A valiant effort, but they will have to be able to turn it up even more if they want to challenge Boone High School. And it is going to be the B entry of Miami Beach that will join their teammates in the A entry into the A final. Congratulations to them.
And following up just behind Miami Beach, Ransom Everglades has done a phenomenal job. After an over-the-head crab early in the race that saw them fall all the way back, they've composed themselves and they've rode back through and into a 4th place position, just missing out on a spot in the A final, but a valiant effort to correct and get back into the position, defeating some of the other crews out there.
Yeah, that was a courageous effort by Ransom Everglades.
Tampa Prep will be next across the line, followed by Edgewater High School, and that will round out the pack here in this second heat of the girls freshman 4. As we have a replay of the start of the next race, it is the this is the replay of this most recent race. You see the crab there on the left that took out Ransom Everglades. A great recovery row nonetheless. And there is Boone High School sprinting away. Rocks doing their best to challenge, but it was Boone High School in the end that took the win in this second heat.
And again, Miami Beach, their B crew, though, will have 2 crews competing for the medal rounds tomorrow in the A final. So incredible show of depth there by the Miami Beach squad, putting 2 boats into the final, and you can see Boone very happy with the win here in the heat, confirmed there on your screen. 6:02, about 2 seconds ahead of that Rocks crew. Both of those will see each other again tomorrow in the final and figure out who's going to get the medals.
And another thing to note there, Miami Beach A in the previous heat had a time of 6:03, which was largely uncontested in that heat. So that's going to be interesting to shape up how those 3 boats are going to mix up in the A final. But we still have one more heat left in this event. It is the 3rd and final heat of the girls freshman 4. Top 3 boats will be headed to the A final, remaining boats to the B final.
And we have a start. We have a start.
In lane 2, it is Berkeley Prep. Lane 3, it is Orlando City. Lane 4, Oars. Lane 5, Pinecrest. Lane 6, Lake County. And lane 7, Ransom Everglades B.
All right, this is really excellent that they not only have entries, but they have A and B entry at the freshman level in a 4. And that's a hard boat to row as a freshman. You've got to really have some boat sense about you. You can hide in an 8, but in rowing a 4, you've got to be really technically proficient.
Yeah, there's no weak point. There's nowhere to hide, and these athletes are doing a great job propelling their crews down the race course here. We'll get a look here as we're about a minute into the race. This is the 3rd heat again of the girls freshman Coxed 4. 3 boats to advance into the A final.
Oh, this looks really, really competitive. As our drone goes back to change out a battery, we are taking advantage of our cameraman here at the finish, and there we go. He's back on station, and we can see that our leader appears to be Berkeley Prep, and then 3 lanes over is Pinecrest, and then also in the fray is Orlando City and Lake County.
Yeah, so it looks like we're coming up on the 500-meter mark. And it actually looks by my eye that maybe Pinecrest has pushed out to a lead. Pinecrest followed by Berkeley Prep. And then it looks like Lake County next to Pinecrest is holding that 3rd spot. So coming through the first 500 meters, it does look like Pinecrest has the early lead.
And that looks
Lake
like
County half a length ahead of Berkeley.
Yeah.
And it looks like Orlando City is currently the odd one looking out, but still within connection on the 3rd place Berkeley Prep crew. It's going to be crucial in this second 500 meters for that Orlando City boat to stay in touch. We've seen some of those crews have some fast starts out of Jack Meshach's program, so watch for that Orlando City boat. I would not be comfortable if I was that Berkeley Prep crew in 3rd place with almost a full length, but not quite. That connection is going to be crucial for Orlando City, as here's a shot of the early leaders, Pinecrest School.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pinecrest doing a really nice job pressing the legs, just spinning that boat along. They've got an open water lead right now, and they are extending it.
A long dynamic swing here for this Pinecrest crew. You can see the bodies opening relatively early as the legs are coming down, and it's just a long haul swing all the way through the back end.
Yeah, very, very excellent connection. And the fact that they are holding the pressure on the oar longer than anybody else is really paying them tremendous dividends. And now we're going to get really interesting, guys.
Yeah, it looks like Lake County is in a solid second position at the moment. It is top 3 to go. So you're looking down over on the far side. It looks like Berkeley Prep still has a small lead over Orlando City. That third position is going to be the all-important one to make it into the A final. But there again is Pinecrest, your leader by open water, out in front in the girls' freshman 4, heat number 3.
And as you can see, they're starting to bounce around quite a bit because the waves are getting bigger as the wind is blowing pretty good. And the longer the wind blows over the water, the bigger the waves. And so this boat, you've got to be able to relax when the oar is not in the water and take advantage of when the oar is in the water. Man, look at this. Look at the lead that Pinecrest has got. They are just really hammering it. And it looks like Lake County is doing a great job in there in second place. But we've got ourselves a boat race between, looks like Berkeley Prep and Orlando City.
Yeah, Berkeley Prep, it does look like they may have just started to close the gap that Lake County initially had. So coming into the final 400 meters or so, Lake County needs to do well to hold on to their composure and avoid the charge from Berkeley Prep, as here comes Orlando City as well. But yeah, like you said, Joe, great, dominant performance from Pinecrest. You've seen some Pinecrest crews below their competition out of the water. So it's great to see another Pinecrest crew doing just that.
Yeah, Pinecrest now reaching those red buoys first, 250 meters to go, and they've got room to go if they want to. They looks like they're going to bring the rate up and practice their sprint. It's not needed today. They'll want it tomorrow, but behind them is where the real battle is going to be shaping up.
Lake County continuing to hold on to their advantage from earlier on in the race. But Berkeley Prep and Orlando City still have not been out of it. But it's going to be up to the final 250 meters to see whether they can have the decisive charge to overtake Lake County for second position. Only two of the boats in your screen right now will progress to the A final thanks to Pinecrest's dominant performance out in front. Looks like Orlando City is currently the odd one out looking in. Lake County doing everything they can to hold on to their advantage. Berkeley Prep doing the same to avoid relegation to the B final.
All right, they're into the last 10 strokes right now.
Pinecrest already across the line to take the win. Massive victory for them. And you can see how ecstatic they are with that margin of victory.
Yeah, it looks like Lake County is going to be edging toward the line in second position, but here comes Berkeley. Here comes Berkeley, and Orlando City is just trying to keep up with them. Right now it does look like Lake County has the advantage by about 1 to 2 seats, so it looks like they will cross the line in second position, securing their spot into the A final, and it will be Berkeley Prep who fights their way in for a third spot. A final fight for the medals tomorrow, just ahead of a hard-charging Orlando City, who just misses out, who will be competing now in the B final.
Yeah, great result there for Lake County and Berkeley Prep, able to weather the storm across all three of those battling boats. Those initial advantages were only carved out in like the first 300 to 400 meters. The gaps remained relatively similar all the way down the course. So that's going to be an interesting thing to take note of for all of those crews. Very similar speeds in the back end of this course.
Yeah, and now rounding out the field, we'll have Oars and Ransom Everglades, their B entry, to complete the B final fill out.
Wow, that's a significant win by Pinecrest. If you figure 3 seconds a length, that's 10 lengths.
Yeah, so I think that's the largest margin we've seen so far today, a 30-second victory there for the Pinecrest School in this third heat of the girls' freshman 4.
And that was the fastest time overall across all 3 heats of the girls' first freshman 4. So Pinecrest is going to be another name to watch, another legacy, just like Gar, similar to Gar. A lot of their force have been extremely competitive and have blown their competition out of the water, at least in the heats. So that's going to be another name to watch for the state title tomorrow.
Now we see the drone flying back to the starting area for the boys' second freshman 8. It will be a race for lanes, and this is a 8-boat race.
We've got the final crew approaching the starting platform, so we've got 7 already locked in. We're just waiting for that last one. It looks like we're waiting Winter Park to get locked in, coming on into the starting gates.
So going through the crews here now. On the top of your screen, that will be lane 1, that is Oars B. Lane 2, Sarasota Crew B. Lane 3, Oars A. Lane 4, Sarasota Crew A. Lane 5, Belen Jesuit. Lane 6, Winter Park A. Lane 7, Team Tampa. And lane 8, Winter Park B. So even some third-level freshman 8s being contested here at the state championships for some of these teams.
Yeah, and in the first freshman boys 8, there were 2 heats. The top 2 results out of those were Belen Jesuit and Sarasota Crew. So we'll see if that depth holds true here in the second boys freshman 8. We've got a couple of entries from Sarasota Crew, so they'll have 2 chances. All these crews, again, will continue on to the A final tomorrow. This is the race for lanes, but this should give us a good preview of what to watch for tomorrow.
And I remember it was either last year or the year prior, Belen and Sarasota each had 2 second freshman 8s, and the order of finish was like Sarasota Crew A first, Belen A second, Sarasota Crew B third, and Belen B fourth in this exact event. So the depth from some of these larger programs really able to be showcased here in this boys second freshman 8. Not saying that that's what I'm expecting in this race specifically, but it has happened in the past, and it will be something to note if that does happen again here.
Yeah, Winter Park and Oars also have 2 entries in there, so 5 total teams representing in 8 entries. So 2 from Winter Park, 2 from Sarasota, 2 from Orlando, and we've also got Team Tampa and Belen.
Wow, that's a lot of kids.
And again, this is the freshman age category, so all these athletes will be either in their freshman year of high school or younger. We saw in the Sarasota first freshman 8 that the majority of that boat was actually 8th graders, middle schoolers, which is something you don't see very often at the top level of freshman 8. And
that's a good thing for their program.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And you expect to see a lot of those younger athletes here in the second level freshman 8 as well.
Alrighty, looks like are all ready, and we do get a start. Yeah, looks like Winter Park B caught a flyer.
Yeah, they did. They took a few seats on the Team Tampa boat right next to them off the start. We'll see if they're going to be able to hold on to their speed.
Wow, that's some really good rowing for the second freshman 8s. My goodness, guys are doing great. Okay, looks like Winter Park B did real well. They're sharing the lead with, looks like
Sarasota Crew and Oars look to have the early lead on it, and Sarasota Crew B is also contending in there. So still got a lot of overlap, a lot to play for. We're in the first 60 seconds. They're still in their high rating, and right now it does look like Sarasota Crew's A entry there in lane 4 is starting to pull out to about a 3/4 of a length lead over the rest of the field. But boy, over on this near shore on the right-hand side of your screen, Winter Park, somebody forgot to tell them they were the B boat.
Yeah, they're angry. B. All right, so we've got ourselves a heck of a race going on between Oars and Sarasota Crew B, right behind Sarasota Crew A. They're stroke for stroke. This is really tight racing, Matt. We've also got Belen kind of hovering around, getting ready to go. And this, again, is race for lanes. So it's not much of a done deal, with the possible exception of Sarasota Crew A being out there. And then look at Winter Park B.
Yeah, this is a really interesting development. Sarasota Crew A out in front, probably expected given that they're in the favored middle lane, lane 4. But the 2 crews behind them is in second place Winter Park B, and in third place Sarasota Crew B. So, wow, we've got a cracker of a race on our hands here across all sorts of different levels of crews. But great to see some really exciting and albeit unexpected, but very exciting racing nonetheless.
Yeah, I'm sure throughout the course of a season, the learning curve for most of these athletes is going to be extremely steep. So week to week, even practice to practice, you know, as you pick up the skill, as you pick up more fitness, you can really make these large gains. And it looks like Sarasota Crew's A-Boat has gotten the most gains over this season so far. They have about a 1-length lead, but it continues to be Winter Park's B entry and Sarasota Crew's B entry in second and third, battling it out bow ball to bow ball, followed closely by Oars and then Belen Jesuit.
And again, this is a race for lanes, so all of these crews, we're going to see this exact, maybe we'll expect to see this exact same scenario play out come the A final tomorrow.
It could be interesting. Could be Sarasota Crew right beside each other.
It really could, but now
Sarasota Crew A and Sarasota Crew
yeah,
B.
that's exactly what's happened. Sarasota Crew B has moved into second place decidedly. So Sarasota Crew 1 and 2 at the moment. Winter Park B, a very strong first half. They're going to need to be able to hold on to all their speed because here comes Oars A in lane 3 trying to challenge for third. But a brave start from Winter Park B. Impressive nonetheless. Wow, this is some exciting stuff here for this second freshman 8.
Yeah, really good rowing by these young athletes. It continues to be Sarasota Crew A out in front by open water, extending their lead over their teammates from Sarasota Crew B. Sarasota Crew B, again, is now moved through Winter Park B, and the rest of the field is now closing in on Winter Park B. It looks like Oars' A-Boat is trying to track them down and grab that third spot.
Oars' B-Boat on the far side as well, challenging Belen Jesuit. So they're all really tightly packed. A, B, doesn't matter here at this second freshman 8 level because they're all roaring down the course in with less than 500 meters to go.
Yeah, it looks like you were saying, it looks like Oars is making a move that may be overtaking Winter Park B, but I don't know. They look really feisty.
It is very, very tight as we get a great shot of the leaders. Sarasota Crew A out in lane 4 in a beautiful blue Vespoli 8.
Looks like one that could have been named the Mike Taff a few years ago.
Yeah, and Sarasota Crew B now securely in second position. They're holding that second spot, and it does look like now that Oars has moved into the third spot just behind Sarasota Crew B.
Yeah, Winter Park though on the near side. Winter Park B, don't forget about them. They are still right in the thick of it. Maybe ahead of Oars B. I can't quite tell because of the angle. It does look like they might have an advantage, but it is all about the two.
Winter Park does not look like a freshman crew
or a B crew.
They are really jumping on it.
Sarasota Crew takes the win in the race for lanes for the boys' second freshman 8. It is a 1-2 for the two Sarasota Crew boats. Their B comes across the line next, and here it comes down to the line. Oars in Winter Park B is going to be so tight. Oars, did they do it? They did, by a bow ball.
Wow, what a great race and a good idea of how good the racing is going to be tomorrow, as all of these crews are really, really doing a great job at the second freshman 8 level.
Belen Jesuit takes the 5th place spot. Team Tampa did well to overtake a fast starting Oars B to finish in 6th. Oars B settles for 7th, and Winter Park A will come across the line in 8th. But wow, talk about dominance. Sarasota Crew 2 8s, 1-2, and possibly 1st and 2nd overall in the state if that result matches the A final tomorrow. Again, all of these boats will see each other again in the A final for a chance at the state title. Wow, that is some unexpectedly surprising stuff.
Yeah, really impressive for the second freshman 8 with plenty of B entries in there. So great depth, great racing, really good competition here at the Florida State Sweep Championships. As we got a confirmation, Sarasota A, Sarasota B, followed by Orlando in the 3rd position. Oars, Team Tampa, looks like they're coming in 4th, although I think Belen may have popped up there ahead of a couple of those other results.
Also Winter Park B.
Yeah, so we'll wait to see those final results. Once those are all tabulated, you can find all of those results on crewtimer.com. Make sure to bookmark that page for tomorrow's A finals.
All right, we're going to move on to the ladies, and we have a 4-boat race for the girls' second freshman 8. Again, a race for lanes. And we have Team Tampa, Sarasota Crew, Oars, and a second Sarasota Crew boat. So We'll see as they back down and get on the starting block, and then we'll be off shortly.
Hopefully it's going to be interesting to see whether Sarasota crew can match their performance of the men. They're the only team with 2 entries in this one. We'll see if it is not out of the realm of possibility for another 1-2 finish here. But Team Tampa and Oars will definitely be in contention to right that wrong. You can see Sarasota Crew B nearest to the screen, just starting to back in now and then lock themselves into the stake boats. Everybody else patiently waiting for the start of this race, making sure that their points are in line.
And well-schooled, Bao quickly handed her oar to a 2-person so that she could push that boat sideways rather than pull it out of the grasp of the stake boat holder.
And the Sarasota Crew B looks to be rowing in the Giving Challenge 16. I remember when that boat was the women's 1V shell back when that boat was purchased. So good to see that boat still hanging around. And it does look like they're starting to sit ready, pulling through the crews. Start coming your way momentarily for the girls' second freshman 8 race for lanes. All crews sitting ready.
And the wind was blowing from the left-hand side to the right, and you can see it pushing the boats, swinging it around to the right. And then the Sarasota Crew B entry just used their oars to kind of did. And this is going to be an interesting start, because the crew from Team Tampa was aimed right for the Sarasota Crew A boat. Probably have to really use their rudder to get out of there.
Looks all right so far. No problems in the first 20 seconds.
Yeah, and Sarasota Crew A is really got out of there.
Yeah.
Which is probably not a bad thing to do. If you're not there, you can't be hit.
And a replay of start from the drone. You see on the left-hand side of your screen, Team Tampa pointed into Sarasota Crew's lane. Good correction from the coxswain to avoid any major disaster. Sarasota Crew also did well to maintain their composure and not get distracted by those blades getting suddenly so close to their boat.
Good job by that Team Tampa coxswain.
For sure. And
she just yanked on that rudder and says, I'm bailing out. And really maintained speed, so now they're in second place. And
good stuff.
Good stuff by that coxswain from Team Tampa.
Yeah, all part of the learning experience here for these second freshman 8s.
And it looks like Oars and Sarasota Crew B have themselves a little battle going on for third place, as Sarasota Crew A is broken the field and starting to walk away.
Yeah, open water already. Less than 500 meters in for this A entry. Sarasota Crew girls second freshman 8. Team Tampa, after a bit of a scrappy start, did well to recover, but now they're getting tracked down by the remaining 2 crews, Oars and Sarasota Crew B. Now starting to eat in inch by inch. Sarasota Crew B carving out an advantage over Oars and also eating into the lead created by Team Tampa. So all to play for with 1,000 meters to go.
Yeah, we'll see. It'd be very interesting if they can just maintain that speed. But there goes the A boat for Sarasota Crew. And here comes Oars, and here comes Sarasota Crew B.
Wow, look at this charge from Sarasota Crew B.
They are doing a very nice job.
Yeah, a bit of a more controlled and patient start from Sarasota Crew B, but that base rhythm is really chugging them along, and it's really working for them as they come down into the second 500 meters of this race. Team Tampa needs to relax and stay focused on their own rhythm to continue to hold off the charge, and it looks like they're doing just that. They were able to recover from a bit of a panicked and flustered, scrappy start, but the coxswain did a great job to relax the crew and get them focused back in.
It looks like, unfortunately, Sarasota Crew B is having trouble with the water. A lot of splashing and a lot of white water at the release. But whereas the other crews are a lot cleaner, and they are not having the water slow them down. But the Sarasota Crew B boat is very strong. They're really pulling really hard. If they can get clean and then not have the oars drag on the water. It would really be helpful. And it looks like they're starting to see that benefit, starting to move on the Team Tampa boat.
Yeah, as they start to put their bow ball out in front and into second place ahead of Team Tampa, like you said, Joe, it looks like they really did clean up the recoveries quite well. The blades aren't hitting the water as much. There's not a lot of white water anymore as opposed to the beginning of this race. So great adjustment there by both the rowers and the coxswain to be aware of that change, know exactly what to do to fix it, and it is paying dividends for them as they enter the second half of this race.
All right. So our leader continues to be in that beautiful aquamarine boat, Sarasota Crew A. A couple lengths of open water back to everybody else. And you can see over their shoulder right behind them, that is the Team Tampa boat. And Team Tampa boat is being overhauled by Sarasota Crew B. We'll see whether or not they can maintain that speed as they come up into the next 500-meter mark, which is right, oh no, they're right past 500-meter mark. Looks like we got ourselves a boat race between Sarasota Crew B and Team Tampa.
Yeah, this is going to be exciting to determine the favorites for a possible silver medal come tomorrow's A final. This is just the race for lanes, so a preview of what we might expect to see in the race tomorrow when there's a state title on the line. But right now it's just to determine the correct seeding going into the A final. Sarasota Crew A has really taken control over this race, and you can see the coxswain hitting the boat. She's excited to be so far out in front. They want the state title, and they want the state title bad, and this is the first step towards that.
And we have got ourselves a boat race between the B crew of Sarasota and Team Tampa. And it looks like Sarasota Crew B has handled the water a lot better now, cleaned up. They're in a lot of wind right now, but they're not having issues. And it looks like they have a bit of a lead over Team Tampa. It may be a 1-2 finish that you were talking about, Christian.
Yeah, the men just did it earlier today. Just one race prior, they finished A and B, first and second. Sarasota Crew B trying to do the same on the women's side. Team Tampa doing everything they can to try and overhaul them in the sprint, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough momentum with Sarasota Crew B. As across the line goes Sarasota Crew A. Their second freshman 8 for the girls takes the win in the race for lanes, and another step towards a state championship title in this event. Sarasota Crew B is going to hold on by about 3/4 of a length over Team Tampa. Great result for them not to panic under pressure early and was able to overhaul them in the base. Hands in the air, great celebrations there for Sarasota Crew B. Team Tampa is going to have to settle for third. Definitely within reach for them to be able to overtake Sarasota Crew B come tomorrow's race, but they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and tweak some of the strategy to be able to do that.
Yeah, some joyous ladies from the Sarasota B crew, excited about their effort and the result.
And Oars is going to round out the pack, coming across the line now.
When already hot on their heels, we've got the next race already on the course. It will be the first heat of the boys pair. Top 4 crews will go into the A final, with the remainder going into the B final. Over on the far shore, we're going to have Pinecrest, Orlando City, Lake Brantley, Team Tampa, Berkeley Prep, Tampa Catholic, and Winter Park. So we're already coming up on 500 meters to go.
Wow, look at Winter Park.
At the moment, it does look like Winter Park has a dominant open water lead right now, with several crews just behind. Orlando City was a scratch from this event, but at the moment it is all Winter Park all day.
And coming down, they're already within the final 500 meters of racing. Only 4 boats will advance to the heat, or to the A final of this race. And Winter Park does seem like they have locked up at least one of those positions well out in front of the pack. It is very, very tight, though, between the remaining crews in the field. Looks like Team Tampa, Berkeley Prep, and Lake Brantley are all within contention to earn a top 4 spot. On the outside looking in at the moment is Pinecrest out in lane 1. They will have to have a massive charge in the final 400 meters or so to get themselves in qualifying position. But right now, look at this Winter Park crew. Really stable despite all of the wind gusts that we've been seeing on the water. Look how stable these guys are. This is a pair that is very, very well experienced.
Yeah, they're staying within themselves, head straight on the line. They're really well focused, and they're bringing it up for their final sprint. They say, yeah, we know this is just a heat, but let's get on to the finish line as quick as we can.
Yeah, it's great to see so many pairs being contested. I don't remember a time where I saw 15 entries in the boys pair here at the Sweepstakes Championships, but nevertheless, great to see the small boat rowing here at the Sweepstakes Championships being put on full display, and it is Winter Park out in front behind them. Looks like it, if I'm not mistaken, that's a Team Tampa crew currently in control of 2nd, Lake Brantley in 3rd, and Berkeley Prep in that all-important 4th spot. But it is going to be Winter Park taking the win by multiple lengths of open water. Dominant for those two gentlemen coming across the line now.
Yeah, really nice job here in the men's pair. Slapping the water, excited. They'll have to run it again, but that's got to give them some confidence heading in for tomorrow. Coming across next will be lane 4. Team Tampa secures the 2nd place position. So a really nice row by them to make sure they get their spot in there. And then looking like Lake Brantley in 3rd and Tampa Catholic.
Berkeley Prep.
Oh, excuse me, Berkeley Prep. Yep.
And it is going to be the Pinecrest School and Tampa Catholic that will be headed to the B final, but a very, very strong performance for Winter Park. I wouldn't be so confident, though, going into the A final tomorrow, because in this next heat, we have probably far and away the favorite in this in this 2nd heat of the boys pair, and we'll get to that in a moment. But in the meantime, Winter Park with a 15-second margin of victory with a time of 5 minutes and 20 seconds. It's going to be interesting to see how that matches up to the favored pair in the next heat, which we will get to in a short time as we get a replay of the start. This is the 2nd heat of the boys pair. In lane 1, Tampa Prep. Lane 2, North Palm Beach. Lane 3, Palm Beach crew. Lane 4, your favorites out of the Miami Rowing Club. We'll get to them in a moment. In lane 5, Vero Beach. Lane 6, Ransom Everglades. Lane 7, Capital City. And lane 8, Pensacola. And just as I suspected, look at that. You could barely see them go across their screen after the replay. Miami Rowing Club, massive margin, still only 1,000 meters left to go. But
yeah, it looks like they're followed by Vero Beach and Capital City in 2nd and 3rd. Again, top 4 places will go, so that 4th place spot right now, there's 3 crews for 1 spot. It does look like the top 3 crews seem to have a pretty decent advantage, but boy, oh boy, no doubt about your leader at the moment, Miami.
And this is a very, very experienced Miami crew. These are likely their top 2 guys in this program. In the stroke seat is Mateo Montero Johnson. He actually, in this very boat class, the men's pair, finished 2nd in the country at Youth Nationals just 1 year ago. So he is very, very experienced in this specific boat class. He will be headed to Cornell Lights this fall. In the bow seat is Antonio Sevillano, who is going to Tufts. He is also very, very experienced in the small boats. He finished 6th in the B final in the men's youth single last year at Youth Nationals. So 2 very, very experienced athletes. Top 2 athletes out of the Miami Rowing Club on the men's side, and they are really showing why they have earned this right to be a pair together.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at a sizable margin here. It continues to be Vero Beach in that 2nd spot. Again, top 4 crews will go through to the A final, so it continues to be Miami dominating the scene. Vero Beach in 2nd. Capital City, it looks like, is in 3rd, but we'll have to wait until they get a little closer to try and get some confirmation on that positioning.
And Matt, you and I were talking about rowing a pair, not you and me specifically, but just the experience of rowing a pair. What out of this Miami Rowing Club, what is so special about these 2 guys, and how important is it for not only do you have 2 competent rowers individually, but to be able to put them together in a pair like an event like this?
Yeah, you really have to have a lot of body control in the pair, because any sort of asymmetry, any sort of unequal force applied up, down, left, right can really throw the boat off. So trying to match that impulse, match those connections is critically important. And at the same time, they're throwing more power than everybody else. You can see They're staying in the center line of the boat. They're focusing on driving it straight, driving that bow ball toward the finish line, getting into the water and out of the water in perfect unison. It doesn't rock the boat, it doesn't shimmy it, it doesn't move it around, except in the direction they want it to go.
As they're into the final 250 meters, Miami Rowing Club demonstrating why they are the gold medal favorites in my eye, as they are taking it up for their sprint. Completely unnecessary. They have this race in the back, but they're trying to go for that all-important fast time to secure a good lane going into the AA final tomorrow, and it is a massive margin. This is by far the biggest margin of victory we have seen today at the FSRA Sweep State Championships. This crew is going to be one to look out for, not just here at the state championships, but also at the regional and likely national championships to come, as they take the win one step towards the state championship for Miami Rowing Club in the boys pair.
Yeah, it looks like they win about 5:05, so close to 5 minutes in a pair is insanely fast. And here comes Vero Beach. Vero Beach doing a fantastic job there in that second position. Really nice, long, strong rowing. Again, they're staying in the class of the field, trying to separate themselves out to make sure that they've got their spot into the A final.
Yeah, good stuff for this Vero Beach pair to come across the line, be best of the rest in second place. They will be looking to convert that into a possible medal as well. Coming across the line now in second position. It's going to be tight across the line, but it looks like Capital City will be the next boat across the line in third, followed by Tampa Prep with a small bobble, but able to recover and cross the line to secure a spot in the A final, which unfortunately means North Palm Beach and Ransom Everglades will, as well as Pensacola Rowing Club, will be the crews headed to the B final, as well as Palm Beach crew. And look at the time here from Miami Rowing Club as these crews continue to come across the line. A time of 5 minutes and 4 seconds, almost on the dot there, Matt. And that is a time 16 seconds faster than a Winter Park crew that also dominated their respective heat.
Well, we've already had a start in our next one.
And there's confirmation, 38 seconds. The margin of victory for Miami Rowing Club. Massive stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely an horizon shot.
Yeah, so they're looking beyond just tomorrow's final. They're going to be looking for the regional championships and the youth championships to see how they can contend on a national level. But then next up, we're going to be moving straight into the girls pair heat number 1. Sebastian River over on the far shore, First Coast, Team Tampa, Cape Coral, Sora, the Bulls School, and Orlando City will be competing in this. Again, top 4 places heading into the A final.
And an emergency announcement here from Nathan Benderson Park. We would like to let everyone know that we are actively monitoring the weather out east, and we ask for your cooperation in clearing the venue immediately following the races. The race on the course now, we just saw the start. It is the penultimate race of the day. Almost done here with the program on this first day of racing, but with some weather out east. You can see the big clouds. If you look towards the highway, the big clouds out there possibly moving in the next few minutes. So we do appreciate everyone be prompt in securing for cover at the conclusion of today's races. But still currently out in front, we still have these girls pairs left to contest. So please be aware of that weather starting to develop. And there you see on the picture the storm system that is developing. Still in a safe distance from our venue, but please be prompt in the event that does start to move closer to our venue. But what do we got here on the course now, Matt?
Yeah, and trying to see to make sure that I've got the right ones. It does look like Sebastian River and Team Tampa are your early leaders. It looks like Team Tampa has the edge by about half a length or so, if those lanes and hopefully the boat colors hold true.
I think that actually might be First Coast on the left and Cape Coral on the right.
There you go. That's always helpful to see. It's hard to gain some reference when we only have 2 crews in the shot, but they have separated themselves out so strongly and so well. And that does look like it's a Cape Coral crew, and boy, that is a strong performance from this Cape Coral crew. Just out in front, looking like they're putting themselves in a position to win a state championship here tomorrow.
Yeah, great stuff from another small boat out of the Cape Coral Rowing Club. You did mention, Matt, earlier on that also struggling to find some water time given the drought and circumstances here across the year in the state of Florida, but nevertheless competing and doing very, very well to be in first position at the moment in this girls pair. But as these boat classes get smaller and smaller, it is more and more likely for a dramatic move to be made. So these girls pairs are going to have to continue to strike at a high rhythm, because at any point another opponent could strike.
Yeah, that's a great shot here of the Cape Coral athletes doing exactly what they need to. They're keeping their heads in the boat. They're keeping the boat running straight and true, and that has given them an open water lead at the moment ahead of First Coast. So it is currently coming into the red buoys. It's going to be Cape Coral are your leaders, open water. Keep your eyes out for the crews just behind. We are looking for top 4 going into the A final. Right now it does look like it's Cape Coral and First Coast, and behind them it looks like it's going to be, as Joe, you would say, a barn burner. By my eye, it looks like on the near side, it looks like Orlando City, unless we're missing some crews, but the nearest lane looks like they have a good shot at that 3rd spot, and in that 4th position is going to be right between Cape Coral and First Coast. It looks like Team Tampa is contending for that 4th spot as well.
Yeah, that's a good call there. It looks like Orlando City to my eye as well there, Matt. As, again, top 4 boats will be headed to the A final. Cape Coral looks to be one of them, as they have securely established themselves at the front of this field. They are coming across the line now to take the win in the first heat of the girls' pair. As the next boat across the line.
Orlando City's looking really strong, really tall and strong, really strong, firm core, and they're really transmitting it well. Very nicely done by Orlando City to qualify.
And they're in 3rd place to qualify, as 4th place will be Team Tampa coming across the line. Sora will be just outside the qualifying places. They will have to settle for the B final, as the remaining crews from Sebastian River and the Bowl School will round out this pack, as I believe we already have a start in the next event. It is the final race of the day. There's the time there from Cape Coral, 6:04, as they advance to the A finals, the #1 seed from the first heat. Next event is already on the course. It is the final race of the day. It is the second heat of the first pair.
We've had a boat flip. One of the trailing crews has flipped in the course, and we have quite a bit of a challenge here in that we have the other crews coming down the course. So it's a quick decision here going to be made by our judge referees as far as what is going to be safe and how they're going to handle this situation.
It still looks like they have 1,250 meters left to go in this race. So they have some time, but yeah, you can see that 4 on the island if you're on the venue with us. Unfortunately, capsized there. As we get live looks at the racing, we'll continue to monitor that situation. In the meantime, it is the crew from Lane 2 University School. Lane 1, there's a scratch in Hillsborough, but Lane 2 University School, the boat all the way on the left, is your early leader, but challenging as well. Looks like that is Lake County out of Lane 5.
All right, so we've got ourselves a little bit of a drama right here where the judge referees are trying to decide whether or not they're going to help the rowers get back into the boat, or are they going to pull them out of the boat and pull the boat off the course, as the other crews are coming down, are about 4 minutes away.
Yeah, it looks like the athletes are climbing onto the judge referee's launch there, so that's a quick thinking there from the referees. Again, that's the reason why we have multiple safety launches following these pairs, especially the smaller boats who have a higher likelihood of capsizing like that.
Yeah, so all of these referees have been trained for this sort of situation, so they're doing a great job of handling it, to being able to clear the course. Again, racing is continuing, and as happens in pairs, sometimes you end up in the water. I've definitely done it myself at sort of every level. So
me too.
Yeah, so
been there, done that, got wet.
Yeah, but in the meantime, we're still having this final heat of the girls pair coming down the course. It will be again the top four results making it into the A final, with the remainders proceeding to the B final.
Yeah, they now have both of the rowers on board. They use the bow-mounted ladder that they have between the two hulls in order to easily pull that boat, pull the rower up out of the water. and now they're going to grab a hold of the boat and move it out of the way.
In the meantime, in this final race of the day, it is very, very tight. University School out in lane 2 had the early lead, but they are now being challenged by lane 5, Lake County. All the way on the right-hand side as well is Rocks in the green shell in 3rd place being challenged. I believe that is Halifax rowing out in lane 4. So those are your top 4 crews. Sitting just behind them is a crew from Treasure Coast out in lane 3. They are currently on the outside looking in, coming into the final 500 meters. That is all to play for these crews trying to qualify into the A final.
Now the judge referee is turning the boat so it is sideways or right beside the boat, and they're going to clear out of the way because here comes rowing organization of Citrus County, their entry in lane 8, which is right along the beach. And they're going to very, very carefully move out of the way, and expertly done by them. And they have a people waiting there in order to grab the boat. And all is well, a beautifully executed evolution here in a difficult situation, beautifully executed by the people here at Nathan Menderson Park and our wonderful group of referees.
Yeah, great stuff here. Glad to see everybody okay, all the equipment being returned safely, and this race not having any problems with interfering with that recovery. As coming down to the final 300 meters or so, it continues to be the University School, but Lake County, there is nothing in it between those two boats for the 1st and 2nd. Rocks also nothing in it between Rocks and Halifax for 3rd and 4th. And there's a shot of lane 2 University School, your early leaders throughout this race, but Lake County has chipped away at that lead every so often, and it's going to come down to the final 250 meters. It does look like Lake County has the momentum. It's going to come down to the line, though. Anything can happen, as we've seen in these pairs.
We're in the red buoys. It does look like Lake County has started to bring up their rate, and they are starting to move. It does look like the University School is trying to hold off the charge, but it's Lake County and University School battling it out. Halifax and Rocks, it looks like Rocks may have the edge. Coming up on the inside lane here, Rocks is charging in that 3rd position. It does continue to look like Lake County and University School side by side coming up on the finish line. And then it looks like Halifax and Rocks side by side. So we're going to have a great finish for 1-2 and for 3-4. Those top 4 crews have separated out, and it does look like it will be Lake County crossing the line just ahead of the University School in 2nd position. Lake County throwing up their hands in celebration. And Rocks,
here comes Rocks.
Rocks did a great job of moving into that 3rd position, with Halifax still holding on to 4th, moving into the medal rounds tomorrow.
And Halifax, again, I love their white buns. The guys do a great job.
I think we saw that combination. I think these are the Botha sisters that won the lightweight double 2 weeks ago. So great to see them in a pair as well, and they have qualified to the A final. But the story is all about Lake County on your screen now.
Yeah, and just a masterful job by our judge referees, really coordinated, and not only having awareness of what was happening to help the capsize crew, but also having awareness of the other crews that are still on the course.
And as we get a recap, that concludes the racing for today here on day 1, of the FSRA Sweep State Championships for 2026. As a reminder, please be aware of the impending weather that we have continued to monitor. Please be prompt in leaving the venue and seeking shelter, because that is something that has been developing for the past few hours. Please be prompt in leaving the venue, as there is an impending storm system approaching Nathan Menderson Park. But thank you all for joining us here for this first day of the FSRA 2026 Sweep State Championships. We hope to see you again soon tomorrow at 8 a.m. for the start of our A finals on day 2. And
all right, so I'm Joe Dobson saying goodbye, and I'm here with
Christian Yu
and Matt Muffelman.
We had a great time. We hope you all had a great time. Wonderful job managing this effort today, and we hope that you have a wonderful night here in Sarasota, and see you tomorrow for some great racing.
This broadcast will be available on demand on all RHS TV streaming apps.
Broccoli in here. Now, this broccoli is cooked. So what we're trying to do here is we're just going to add a layer of flavor on these florets because we have a cooked product, which is saving us time, but it definitely is not going to be shortcutting on the flavor. All right. As soon as we get those in there, we're going to immediately hit them with some kosher salt and black pepper. As many of you know, if you're watching me, when we add salt to vegetables, it's going to immediately help reduce the water. Vegetables are 90% water. It's going to allow the crust to form. And of course, the salt and pepper also add massive flavor. Now, the only other thing we're going to add in this right now is a little bit of garlic. I've got just a little bit of the garlic paste that I always use. We're almost down to the end here. So but we'll add about the equivalent of a clove. About a teaspoon here. Just like that. And this is all mixed in. Oh, I'm sure it smells amazing. Good. Just want to get a little color on them. You can see right here, let me show you. It's already starting just a little bit right there. You want to get a little bit more of that. So we'll let these go for about 3 minutes. When we come back, I'll show you exactly what we're going to do. Why I did not discard this bowl. I'll show you what we're going to do. And then we're going to start our glaze and then get to the next step. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. All right, come on in here. I want you to look at this. See, we're getting some nice color. That's what we want. Yeah, see? Look at that. That's good. Lock in all those flavors. So I'm going to turn the heat off. And now we're going to take this and we're going to remove this. This was the extra step I talked about. Not a pain in the butt. It's just an extra little step. Should be just fine. Just fill it in. So we'll just remove these. Now, if you were to use fresh broccoli, that's fine. You would want to probably blanch it first and then go through this process. All right, so I want you to see the bottom of this pan. This is exactly what we're looking for. All those seasonings have gotten into the pan. All the broccoli flavor, that deliciousness is all in there. That's what we want. So right now, what we'll do is we'll add some chicken stock, okay? If you are a vegetarian or vegan and you want to use, you can use vegetable stock, that's perfectly fine. Even plain water will work, okay? But today we're gonna be using chicken stock. We're probably gonna be adding about 1/4 cup. And we want to immediately start to grab up all of the goodness on the bottom. Look at that. I'm gonna turn the heat back on to a simmer. Let's put a simmer here. There we go. And let's start adding some of our citrus. Very, very simple. We'll start off with our orange juice. So we have a 1/4 cup of chicken stock. We're gonna be adding about 1/8 of a cup or 3 tablespoons of orange juice. Any kind of orange juice will work. About 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Teaspoon of lime juice. And we're gonna be adding 3 tablespoons of our balsamic glaze. And the same for our honey. And you can already tell this is gonna be fantastic. And the last 2 spices were the lemon pepper and the red pepper. We're gonna save those for the very end. I want you to look at this as I put this all together and see how this glaze, you can just tell it's gonna be unbelievable. Now, this is the part where most people start to wonder, okay, what do I do next? Time, temperature, technique. Sauteing is a technique. The time for this is gonna be about 10 minutes. And the temperature is huge because I've got it on a low simmer, but you can see, why don't you come in here, you can see, what is it doing? It's reducing. You do not want to cover this now because then you're going to lock in the steam. You want this to come out. You want this to reduce down. All of these bubbles are evaporating the liquid and it's intensifying the flavors. So you want this reduced by half until it becomes like a syrup or a glaze. In the meantime, while it is reducing, the thing we want to do is we want to taste what we've got going on here. It's so important to see where we are on a flavor profile. Wow, that is really good. And I'm telling you right now, this is going to be fantastic. So we're going to reduce this down probably another 3 minutes. You're gonna see it becomes a total syrup. And I'll show you how we finish it off the last couple of steps. And then I do have a surprise ingredient that I want to add and show you at the very end, as I always do, that really takes this pro chef tip big time. But this last ingredient really takes this to a whole nother level. Don't go anywhere, but let's reduce down. Be right back. All right, come on in here. It's been about 3 minutes. You can see it's still coming down. I'm gonna turn the heat completely off. But look at that. You can see how this has become a total syrup. And I wanna show you, you can see it coats the bottom of the pan, of the spoon here. That's what we're looking for. And of course, we wanna taste this. Anytime you're reducing a liquid, it's going to intensify. So you have to taste, because if let's say you have something you're reducing and it has some sodium in it, it's going to get saltier as it reduces, so you have to watch that, okay? So we're gonna taste this. Good. Wow, that is so good. All right, so back in, we now put our broccoli. Again, we are making citrus honey glazed broccoli. Let me just get that all around. And now, at this point, I want to do 2 things. I'm going to add just a little bit of the chili flake and a little bit of lemon pepper. Again, another layer of flavor. Why did I add this to begin with? Because I want this lemon pepper to kind of float on the outside of the broccoli, whereas in the beginning when I used the kosher salt and the black pepper, that's now inside of the broccoli. So definite layers of flavor, which is what cooking is all about. I just want you to see, look at this one right here, look at that. See, that's what we're talking about. It's so delicious. Oh my goodness. All right, so we've got these all mixed in. Now, last step is we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. I'm gonna turn the heat back up to a slow simmer. Melt this butter down. And it's gonna add the creaminess and just that rich flavor we're looking for. That is so delicious. So when we come back, we'll plate this up. We'll take a taste. I will introduce that last special ingredient I've been talking about that just takes this to a whole other level. Don't go anywhere. Be right back. All right, so come on in here. You can see this is reduced down very nicely. All the broccoli is nice and coated with this amazing citrus honey glaze. And now, for the secret ingredient, we are going to add some chopped sun-dried tomato. Whoa, baby. Now, let me tell you a little story. So, many of you know, I studied under 2 master chefs when I was in Italy 30 years ago, if you can believe it. And I remember asking specifically, what is sun-dried tomato like? What does it do? What is it, what's the purpose? And it was basically explained to me very, very simply that imagine taking like a really, really dark, beautiful tomato paste that's kind of sat out and it's just kind of just deepened its flavor, okay? And then you mix that with raisins, right? That is a great example. I was like, oh, that makes total sense. It's just like, it's like a burst in your mouth of sunshine, was explained to me. So amazing. And what this does with this glaze is it's gonna offset a little bit of that balsamic vinegar, but it's also gonna add a little bit of sweetness and tang to the whole dish. And just look at that. That look unbelievable or what? All right. So you take it to the plate. Like so. I think you guys know now. You start bringing food like this to the middle of a buffet.